Good morning, my good friends watching us at AF8 TV Live. We're back for the fourth day of racing. These are the last two rounds before we get to the shootouts. Tomorrow, oh my God, I cannot believe tomorrow this will all be over. Who we have on track right now? John Del Valle, Rafael Santini, Mibus, Enrique Checa, Bergel, Mario Valecillo, Jerky Sachet, James Bosch, Juliana Petruski, Dankiewicz, Seb Miller, Miguel Cuenca, Antonacci, Mason Brown, Nico Democrasi, Charles Dacline, Dylan DeWolf, Labradon, and Giovanni Baccellieri. These are, of course, as usual, the two warm-up laps before they all pull over to the pit lane. So they all will be released for their flying lap. Let me see what's going on our virtual grandstands. Buenos días, preparados en España para disfrutar de las carreras. Carabao 39, good morning from North Carolina, US of A. Let me check the general standings real quick. Let me see. All right. So after rounds 5 and 6 yesterday, we have leading the championship with a nice little margin, Ruben Boutens with 250 points. Second place overall, John Del Valle with 240 points. Just being chased down by Rico Harbosch with 239 points. Michael Schuttler in fourth place with 236 points. In fifth place, we have Vika Schleds. Then moving on to sixth place, we have Matthias Gluten with 235 points. In seventh place, we have Arnaud Tuven with 228 points. Eighth place, Victor Poirier with 227 points. Ninth place, Bram Gelton also with 227, and Jarno Hermans in 10th place with 221 points. So we are now underway with our first qualifying session. So Christoph just told me they did a few more laps, not 2 warm-up laps, they did 4, because all the cards have been fitted with new tires. And we are underway. This is green, green, green for the qualifying session. There's Ward, there's Sergio from Kart Pesado. Look who's here, Roberto Benavente, mi amigo desde 2014. ¿Por qué no estás aquí? Carlos Córdoba, buenos días. Hans Sonneson, let's go. James and Mason, Team USA. Thank you so much, everyone. Please, before we start off with the racing, please press that thumbs up button. Share the link with everyone you know from your local karting complexes. I think we're just about to have, that is it. Checkered flag is out. Giovanni Baccellieri with that number 6 kart with the 54-0. Let's see what John Del Valle has in store. A little bit slower times than yesterday. Oh, nice lap by Charles Decline. John crosses the line. That's it. That is it. So John Del Valle with that number 2 card, 53.9, starting off well. Second spot decline in P3. Giovanni Baccellieri, Bergiel in P4, Dylan DeWolf in P5, Laradon in P6, Miguel Cuenca in P7, Rafael Santini in P8, getting better. That's it. P9 for James Bosch. That is Mr. Max, the Marshal right there, as John Del Valle pulls over. In P10 we have Juliana Petrushki, P11 Dankiewicz, P12 Antonacci, P13 Seb Miller, then Mason Brown, Nicodemo Colossi, Enrique Checa, Dirkie Sachet, Mario Valetilo, and Mibas down there in 19th. I don't think it's actually on track, so let's just wait it out. We still have 2 full days of racing to go. Ole Yon Gran Cuenca. Yon yoneando otra vez. Yes. Un saludo, Marco. Este año toca animar desde la distancia. All right. First race of the day. Let's get ready to rumble. Let's go. We got John Del Valle up in front, trying to improve even more his results. He is 10 points behind Ruben in second place on the overall standings. This is it. Last day for all the marbles. We got green, 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 and we are racing, ladies and gentlemen, from P1 to P4. A little gap is being created now. Nice, nice, nice. Everyone behaving. There's an overtake down behind. Mario Valetilo overtakes Dirkie Sachet for that P17 position as they go through the big one into Lightning. Dylan DeWolf losing a little bit of space to Bergiel just in front of him as they go through Thunder Road down into King's Tribute to the left, into Mushroom to the right. That's a long right-hander. Then you have a left-right left kink into Dive Bomb City onto the final kink, and that is lap 1 done. Up in front, nothing much is changing. John, Charles, Giovanni, and Bergiel, P1 to P4, creating a nice little gap to the Honolulu driver, Dylan DeWolf, back in P5. He's being escorted by Labradon. Then Miguel Cuenca trying to make moves. And there's the overtake by Rafael Santini. Just overtook Miguel Cuenca. Rafael Santini up into P7. Miguel Cuenca down to P8 right now. Anísio Anderson na torcida pelo Nicodemo Crossi, Rafael Santini e pela Juliana Petruski, tá aí também. Juliana in P10. We're going to mix it up a little bit of English, a little bit of Portuguese. Yeah, one more lap is done. Kart number 15. So who went in? Okay, so Dylan DeWolf decides to go into the pits. Gonna try a little bit of a different strategy. Gonna try to get that empty track just in front without traffic. So does Miguel Cuenca. So does Juliana Petrushki as well. Dylan DeWolf with an 18.5 pit stop. Miguel Cuenca 18.6. Juliana 18.6 as well. Good job by Bergiel getting closer, closing that gap to Giovanni Baccellieri down in P3. Giovanni Baccellieri with the best lap, 53.7 up until now. Arnaud Tuven, not the best kart for Dylan yet. Let's see what he can do, what he has up his sleeve. The talent certainly isn't missing there, so he'll make up positions, I'm pretty sure. And you know what? Charles Decline doing a great job staying behind John. They have something like a 2 karts gap between them. Let's see if Charles can pull up to John Del Valle. Españoles, Del Valle, ¿está cierto? Del Valle or Del Valle? Valle? I think it's Del Valle. Vamos, John. Viva España en la primera carrera del día. Let's go, boys. Who's losing ground right now? That is Bergil down in P3. Losing a little bit of ground to John and Charles. John answering back to Giovanni Baccellieri. By the way, Giovanni Baccellieri into the pits. I didn't notice that. We got a little bit of a focus problem on that camera. No problem. Camera is sleepy. It's early in the morning, you know. So let us move on. Look at that. Rafael Santini up into P5. Though that is not the real position because just in front of him, the net P3 driver, Giovanni Baccellieri. Let me see who else. So we had 2 people in front. Dylan, oh my God, Dylan DeWolf dropping down to P18, but Dylan already serving his 2 pit stops. Different strategy by him. Let me see what Giovanni is pulling up to. So he's doing 53.6s. Okay, you know what? Giovanni Baccellieri's tactics might work. Sorry, I was talking to my production team. John Del Valle with the 53.579. Purple lap after purple lap. Does not want to let Charles Decline get too close to him. Bon dia, Ryan. Bon dia, boys. We got the Brazilians Ryan Ishioka, Albert Broad, and Bruno Albino onto our cabin over here. As we see, I think that is James Bosch in our image. We got Seb Miller up in there as well. Now, I want to have a look at Giovanni Baccellieri's times and compare them to Charles. You know what? Giovanni might get the jump on that second position. He was in third before he went into the pits to serve his mandatory pit stop. And there is, that's Mason Brown and Seb Miller. Mason Brown was able to overtake Seb. He is in P8 now. Seb Miller down to P9. Charles Decline answering back to Giovanni Baccellieri's stop now. Let's see how this will pan out. So the jump worked. The jump actually worked. Giovanni Baccellieri ahead of Charles Decline. Good couple of laps there as he was pushing. That is the undercut working for Giovanni. Who else was in? We had Bergil, Santini. Bergil with the 18.1, Santini 18.2. Mario Belicilo on his out lap at 55.5, slow-ish. Meanwhile, John Del Valle pulling up a nice gap up in front. He still didn't answer back with the pit stop. I don't think he needs that this much soon. Should go into the pits by the end portion of the race. Del Valle again with another purple lap, 53.4. He's just handing down slaps to everyone's face. Santini with the second pit stop, 18.299. Good job by the Brazilian middleweights champion from 2022. Guess what? Santini getting closer to Dylan DeWolf. So he's going to try and go for that P4 position. Making moves, Rafael Santini is. So what fight is this? Let me see. Who's on screen? That is Dankovic, James Bosch, Mason Brown. I almost said James Brown. That wasn't going to work. So Dankovic, James Bosch, Mason Brown, and Seb Miller a little bit behind. This is for the net P7 position, I believe. Could be wrong, though. This is all just calculations from yours truly. Dylan DeWolf actually overtaking Rafael Santini. Rafael Santini in his outlap had a 55.4. Meanwhile, John Del Valle with the 53.5 up ahead. He should finish off this race in P1 with a 10-second difference, more or less. Maybe less, let's say 6-second difference by the end of the race to, let me see who this will be. Let's see who's gonna get that second spot. For now, Giovanni Baccellieri is looking nice and dandy. He is 1 second ahead of Charles Decline. They are P8 and P9, but their net positions will be by the end of the race P2 and P3. Bergiel 1.8 seconds behind Charles. Bergiel for now will have to settle for that P4 position. Those positions are basically decided already, so we might have a fight actually for P4 between Dylan DeWolf, Rafael Santini, and maybe Bergiel up ahead. Bergiel still has to go for his second pit stop. So does Giovanni, so does Charles Decline too. This is Mason Brown. He was commentating with us yesterday. There he goes, him and his American mate, James Bosch. North Carolina is going wild as they watch the Americans. You know what? I'm going to sit down for a bit. I'm an old timer, sort of. I'm 42, you know. Relax a little bit. All right. Now we move on. Let's see what John is doing. What are you doing, John? So slow. 53.5, the fastest one by far. On track, his best lap of 53.477. Okay, this is the fight for the P4, maybe P5 position at the end of the race. Rafael Santini getting closer and closer to Dylan DeWolf. Carlos Cordova, Leroy Merlin, €1 gloves for John Del Valle. So during the week, John will be carrying crates, towing trucks and stuff like that. Uses the same gloves also to win in karting. A nice reminder, John Del Valle is the reigning champion. Rafael Santini making nice race with Dylan DeWolf. Good job by him, the middleweight champion from Brazil, making a statement. Note to self for him: do not quit just yet, fighting all the way to the end. This is the closest fight we got so far. Dylan the Wolf looking over his shoulder. See, Santini is pretty close. Sort of frustrated, looks like. That body language from Dylan. Looked over his shoulder before the big one. Gave that thumbs up to Santini. But he has to know that Santini is up to no good. Santini a little frustrated also. Has to go for the move. Both of them already done their mandatory pit stops, and boom, up ahead. John Del Valle with the 53.459. His real gap by now must be along the lines of 5 seconds maybe. I thought Rafael Santini would go for the inside onto Lightning. Thinks better of it. Will leave that thing for later. Creed of Assassins. Quem é você de Volta Redonda? Fala pra nós. Good morning, Creed of Assassins. Baccellieri en tráfico o entra o DEP? Let me see. Giovanni, 53.6. Not that much traffic. Giovanni has traffic 2.3 seconds ahead of him. Mebus se quedó dormido o qué? I don't know. Maybe Mebus fell asleep. Shows up 14 laps behind, so there must be some mechanic or staff moving around with his cart. Sun starts shining up in here. Track is clear all of a sudden. Good morning, people. Wake up, wake up. John Del Valle, another fastest lap, 53.31. So, bora, Jean. Giovanni Baccellieri with the purple sector 18465. His previous lap was a 53.6. Giovanni is fighting with, I think, well, Dylan and Charles. Giovanni 53.5, Dylan 53.9, Charles 53.8. I think by the end of the race we should have John, Giovanni, Charles. Then the fight for P4 between Dylan and Santini. Looks like John slept well tonight, says Ruben. Oh, yes, he did. I'm pretty sure. Okay, John in for his first pit stop. There he is. Coming out of that pit stop with an 18.4. Pretty safe. Gets out in traffic. No problem. He can afford to lose a couple of seconds on his outlap. Probably will go straight into his pit stop or for the move now. Does not want to waste any time whatsoever. Goes into the big one. Let me see who's in front of him. That is Dankiewicz. All right, goes for the move. Boom. Done. Goes straight up ahead. There goes John. Dankiewicz just behind him. Giovanni Baccellieri trying to go for that P2 position. Probably he will get it. Dankiewicz should finish off by P6 or P7. Ooh, someone making moves over there. That is cart number 10. That is Mario Valentillo from Spain. John choosing not to pit right away. As I said, he can't afford to lose a couple of seconds now. So things starting to settle in. This is Nico Democracy from Brazil, fighting with, I think that is Enrique Checa. Well, by John's standards, his previous lap was pretty slow. That was a 54.9. I believe that was his out lap. All right, Charles is in. Nico Laridon in as well. Let's see how he will get back on track. Things starting to settle in now. What about Dankovic? He still has a couple of pit stops to make, right? At least one. I think he has both pit stops to be served. Okay, so now John into the pits. Dankovic also into the pits. Giovanni up to P1. Still has to make one more pit stop, though. Good laps by him. 53.9 was the previous lap by Giovanni. John Del Valle out safely. 18.4. Dankovic 18.3. You know what? I cannot rule out Dankovic off the fight for that top 5 spots as well. Rafael Santini ahead of Dylan DeWolf. He made the move. He is 4/10 ahead of him. That might get him that P4 position. He'll be super happy, super pumped. We got 2 laps to go. Giovanni Baccellieri in the pits. Let's see how Giovanni will get out of there. So, all right. This should be P2 for him easily. So Charles declined in P3. Who's that 15 car? Oh yeah, Bergiel was up in there. I totally forgot about Bergiel, yeah. So that other fight between Santini and DeWolf will get them up to P6, I think. Here comes John for one more win. A slap in the face. Santini is with that number 14. I think he will end up in P6. Oh, but he got overtaken again by DeWolf. And here comes John. Viva España for the win, Giovanni Baccellieri. This is a fight for P4 now. I think this is P4 or P5. Dylan Santini. Bergiel goes by. Cuenca goes by as well. Dylan DeWolf finishes in P7. Rafael Santini in P8. I totally forgot about Bergiel and Laradon and also Miguel Cuenca. Sorry about that, guys. Throw those predictions into the bin. John Del Valle, first race of the day, first win of the day, trying to get back on Boutons. He is 10 points behind him. Giovanni Baccellieri, good consistent results now. P2, P3 for Charles Decline, P4 for Bergiel, P5 Nico Laridon, P6 Miguel Cuenca, P7 for Dylan DeWolf. Nice fight with Rafael Santini. Dankovic down in P9. Mason Brown in that top 10. James Bosch just behind him in 11th. 12th place for Antonacci. Oh, I couldn't read any more of those because my screen has just changed. Nice, consistent, good racing. Being the first race of the day, it's more than okay. New day in kart number 2 and 6 in front again, says CC over there. Okay, so one more win for España. John Del Valle holding on to that second position in the overall rankings. And we go for a quick break. I remind all of you, please leave a like. Thumbs up button, share the link with your karting community. Let's go for that gigantic virtual grandstand. I want 1,000 people watching today. Let's get to that number, boys and girls. We'll be back in a few minutes.